I've got a really fun project for you today, and all you're going to need is an old jar of some kind. I'm using an old coffee jar and some blocks of wood, and with these we're going to be making a sweets dispenser. The wooden part of the sweet dispenser is going to be made in layers, so we're going to concentrate on the bottom two pieces first. Now these two pieces measure 5 centimeters wide by 15 centimeters long. The bottom piece can stay as is, but for the piece that goes on top we need to drill a hole through it. I'm going to drill a 50mm hole, spaced roughly 35mm from the front and centred in the middle of the board. And to do that, I'm just going to use a 50mm hole saw in my drill. And with that hole drilled now, we can get it sanded nice and smooth. And with that hole sanded nice and smooth, we can attach it to the bottom piece. To attach the pieces together, I'm going to be using a combination of both wood glue and super glue. The wood glue will give it its maximum strength, but it can take quite a while to set. So that's where the super glue comes in. The super glue will set really quickly. It's not the strongest option for on wood, but the super glue will set it, hold the pieces together while the wood glue dries. The next piece we're going to add on measures 10 centimeters wide by 8 centimeters long, and this is just going to get glued onto the back and act as a bit of a razor. The next couple of pieces we're going to stick on are to form a bit of a guide rail for the slider itself. Now these measure 3 centimeters wide by 8 centimeters long, and they're both exactly the same size. To glue them in place I'll be using the same technique, wood glue and super glue, but I'll be using the slider to act as a spacer so I can make sure that they're in the right place and it can still slide freely. So for now, I can put the base to one side and I can turn my attention to the slider itself. Now the slider measures 15 centimeters long by 4 centimeters wide, and I need to drill a hole in it that'll collect the sweets. I'm going to drill a 3 centimeter hole 4 centimeters from the front of the slider. And I can get that sanded smooth now as well. Now that I've got the hole drilled and I've got it sanded, I need to add some stoppers, and these will just stop the slider from going too far back or too far forward in the sweets dispenser. Because these are only small pieces, I'm just going to glue these in place with super glue on its own. And there's our slider. The wood construction is fully done now, so I can turn my attention to sorting out the glass jar. I need to drill a hole in the lid, so I'm going to use the same drill bit that I used to drill a hole in the slider. This is where the sweets are going to fall through. Now it's time for the final construction. So I need to put the slider into place, then I can add the lid. To secure the lid to the base, I'm going to be using 2 small screws. They'll secure it into the sides, either side of the slider. It'll hold it nice and tight, and using screws means I can remove the lid at a later date if need be. I want to make sure that the hole in the lid matches up with the hole in the slider. And of course we just need to fill the jar with some sweets. We can secure it back into place. And that's the sweet dispenser done. A really simple project using an old coffee jar and some scrap plywood. The plywood is literally just layered on top of each other, so it couldn't be more simple. This is a great one to get the kids involved with, get all the pieces cut and let them glue it together, or even just let their imagination run wild with the decoration. Paint it all different vibrant colours, draw on some patterns. It's a great one to get them involved with. If you haven't subscribed to On a Budget already, make sure you click that subscribe button and click the little bell icon next to it. That way you'll get a notification as soon as you upload a new video. Cheers for watching.